In this episode of Artist Motivation, you're going to learn how to approach making your series from Chevy, and also just, some of the things you can do when you're going to different conventions and, putting yourself out there as an artist. And also, from perspective of being a signed artist to Plus Manga, right? So we think that you'll get some valuable information as far as how to market yourself, how to take projects from start to finish, and also have a good time, and also how to carry yourself, and just kind of how you work specific conventions and just different conventions that you may be going to in your area. And so we really think you will enjoy this episode and learn a lot. And so again, as always, subscribe to the podcast, share this video with everyone, and just, have fun and take some notes. And we hope you enjoy the episode. Mastermind family, welcome back to the show. I am your host, JoJo, and today's Artist Motivation, where we bring on the hottest, latest artists and allow them to bring insight, hope, inspiration, so you can go out and create amazing content. And today's special guest is Chevie. Chevie, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hi, thanks. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for being on the show. Chevie, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself to the people and just, kind of your background?
Hi. Well, first off, I normally call myself Quick Draw Chef in the comics scene. I just started drawing comics about 2 years ago, around 2017. Titled Requiem. It's more of a kind of story, but it's on the action mystery side genre. And if you're parties, I have my Facebook page. You can visit and read the first chapter. Facebook.com/quickdrawchannel.
Okay. Now, Chevie, I wanted to actually ask you, how did you actually get started as a artist? Like, what was the thing that drawed you to actually want to do this?
It's actually a good question because, like most upcoming artists, everyone that listens to us right now, we started it as we watched some of the animes that we really like, and then we wanted to emulate it. Scratching on our school notebooks when we were young, and then we get better over time. And then once we get to that certain level, when we think that we can draw something, start drawing it. Good thing about drawing is that it's not, I personally believe that it's more of a skill rather than talent. So as long as you work on it every day, you can get better and better until, you just surprise yourself.
That's cool, man. Yeah. So did you find yourself like drawing like 4, maybe 3 hours a day, or how long did you draw, and how many times did you draw something? What's your like routine?
Actually, when I was still working my day job, I would only have like around 2 or 3 hours to draw every day and work on my own comics. And then once I transitioned to doing full-time freelance drawing, I give myself around 8 to 10 hours a day.
Jeez Louise, seriously?
That's the good thing about drawing. It's something that you love. So at the end of the day, it's like you're not working. You're just doing what you love, and it's not really that hard. It's what you do. Right?
Yeah, that's so true. So like, walk me through like that journey of you transitioning from, being at a 9 to 5 to like full-time freelancing. Could you like walk us through that? And
of course. The good thing about my situation is that through my first comics, while I was working 9 to 5, I really sought out Comic Cons that would allow newbies like me to join and just show my work to other people, other artists, and then they introduce me to their clients. So that's how it started, and then they liked my work, and then I started drawing time while I was still working my 9 to 5 job. And then over time, once I get more clients, then I just the pay is not as good as 9 to 5, but it's something that you like doing anyways. So I just transitioned like that.
That's awesome.
Good thing I had the opportunity to meet other people that does the same thing, and they introduce me to their clients. Because without that, it won't really happen.
That's awesome. I mean, like that always helps to like, have somebody that kind of like, paves the way forward and reaches back and like, wants to help you out, and hopefully you'll do the same for, other upcoming artists, which is what you're doing right now and other things in the future, right?
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that's what I always do, especially at cons, conventions. Most of the time, the people that buy your comics would be those who wants to become artists themselves. Then they ask me how you do this or do that. They just give me. I just tell them, if you have something that you want to show, draw it, and then go to the cons and then show it. Even if it doesn't sell right away, the experience is more than enough for what you did, and over time, will just keep getting better and better.
You're right, and that kind of like jogs my memory. Like, how should artists like prepare for cons, and which cons should artists go to? Like, what kind of walk through us your process.
Well, when it comes to cons, what I can refer to would be the ones that I attend locally. Most of the time, I'm not sure exactly how it goes, where they are, because, we have artists from different countries. But from where I am, the Philippines, we have conventions that are specifically targeted for newer artists. They invite you for the table. They just, allow you to be there. And then at the end of the day, they will just take like a percentage of what you earned that day. But the advantage is that they invite people who wants to meet new artists.
Yeah.
It's this opportunity to newer artists to meet older artists and learn from them.
That's awesome.
One of the things that I learned from one of these older artists is that told me that don't allow your quest for perfection to impede your progress. Most of the time, some of the artists, we like to make sure that we are like really, really good before we start making our first comic. And he told me that you just make something right away, and then over time, you just keep getting better and better.
That's true, right? That's what is it? Analysis paralysis. Like you want to do something that's so perfect that it stops you from even like releasing it. And it's just like, get it out there, man. You don't know who's gonna like it as it is, and then as you continue to work on your craft, you'll grab a whole nother set of audiences to read your works, right?
Yeah, that's true. And us artists, though we don't want to admit it, or some of us don't want to admit it, we really like the appreciation from other people. When they see our work and it's good, they say it to us. Of course, we like it, and it burns that passion again to keep doing it. I think that's one of the advantages of showing your work out there right away. Even if it's not the best, some people, maybe a few, would like it, and then that is something, a catalyst that you can use to just keep doing it again until you get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the things that I think a lot of artists struggle with, and I want to ask you, how do you actually market yourself as an artist and get yourself out there?
One of the big advantages of today when it comes to comic artists is that we have the social media. 30 years from now, they don't have it. When it comes to social media, Facebook, Instagram, you just post your work out there, even if you don't earn right away. When people see your work, the market for you. Because sometimes once they read your comic online, they want to support you, and then they will ask you which cons you will be going to, and they would like to buy a physical copy of your product, and then everything just starts rolling from there.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. So like, when you were going down your journey as an artist, did you ever experience any negativity when you got started? And if so, how'd you get past it?
When it comes to negativity, most of it is internal, at least for me. You see, I think the biggest enemy, the biggest obstacle you would have as an artist is procrastination, specifically. Right? I mean,
Right,
I'm
right.
sure you've encountered that before.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of hard sometimes when you wake up in the morning and then you're you need to draw, you need to draw, but you just don't feel like drawing. And then you say to yourself, "Nah, just do it tomorrow," and then tomorrow again after that, and then after a week, you haven't done anything.
Right.
And just pop in good music, maybe a good Zelda music, a good Pokemon music, ambient sound in the background, and then start scratching. You'll eventually get there.
Oh my goodness, that's true though. And that's some of the things I think anyone in general faces, like procrastination, laziness, and just
That's true.
putting it off. I'll do it in about an hour. And you're avoiding the pain. Basically, we typically avoid pain as humans. So,
That's true.
something that I'm pretty curious about is, tell me a little bit about, I think your series is called Requiem. Is that right?
All right. Yeah. Well, literally, it means the song for the dead. But the context of the story is that it's about days of the earth. It's basically related to the biblical apocalypse. It's a survival story. It's an action mystery.
Mm-hmm.
The context is that in the beginning, God created 7 seals. Then these 7 seals are 7 living beings, and they act as the lock to Lucifer's cage.
Okay.
So once apocalypse comes, those 7 seals, so Lucifer gets released to the earth. Fast forward to our time, the start of the series, one of the seals died.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like the survival of the other 6.
Dang. Okay.
So it's a short story. It's my first comic, so I want to make sure that I got it completed, like before people get bored. With the 8 chapters, I have 6 finished.
Yeah,
so far.
I've seen that. And I guess my question is like, what is your plans for that story? Like, what is the goal that you're trying to achieve with that story?
Well, initially, I really thought it would be just like a one-off, a practice series. But before I started drawing it, I already had this script completed because I think of myself as a writer more. So I just like scribbling story ideas, and then once you're in the bus, for example, when I was at work, because it's easier to take the bus, I just think of how to make these stories interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Stories ready to be drawn. That story, at least completed and show other people that I can complete the story. I think that's one of the problems with indie artists, at least in my comic scene. Something, we finish 1 or 2 chapters, and then we just stopped.
Right, and you are right about that. Like, there's something about just completing something that makes you feel good, right? Like, you can take a project from start to finish, and people don't have to wait, 4 or 5 years just to get one chapter from you, right?
I agree. Actually, one thing I did for me to finish that as soon as possible is that I tell people at cons, especially when I release the first chapter, that I will be releasing the second chapter right away after 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a relatively short time, at least with my workload at that time for my day job. And then I always tell them that every 3 months I would have a new chapter.
Dang. Okay.
I forced myself to keep drawing a 50-page chapter every 3 months.
Man, you put the pressure on.
That's what we have to do. If we don't have the pressure, we just keep procrastinating every day.
That's true, though. That's true, and I like that's what you did to force yourself to hold yourself accountable, and that's what it boils down to. You were accountable to your own word. Like, you told the people this is what you're doing, and this is the timeline, and you stuck with it, and you followed through with it, and it shows. So that's pretty awesome.
I think it's really important. Then you get to build this relationship with the people that you talk to at cons as well. I think that's one of the biggest advantages of because I work in the customer service industry. I was in a call center.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that my biggest takeaway for that is that I can talk to people, and I noticed that some of the people at cons, they have this great work, but they are unable to tell people how good it is. So they just pass them at cons instead of actually engaging them in a conversation.
Right, and you're right. You're 100% right. I've seen that so many times at cons that artists that have phenomenal work and they're too scared to lift their head up and just kind of start a conversation when somebody is looking at their work, and that's easy. If somebody's looking at your work, you don't have to work hard. You just tell them a little bit about it, and what would you say for artists that may struggle with that? What are some ways that they can kind of help get over that?
Yeah, you see, actually, that's an interesting question because it depends on the person. We can't really we can't really blame other people, especially if they're really shy. If it's your work and it is something you're proud of, there is a substantial amount of conversation that can be had there. Much like you're talking to a friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you really like something, you can easily talk to a friend about it. I guess when you go to a con, open your mind that each person that would lift up that piece of comic book from a table is a potential friend.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It is.
It gets easier that way. I mean, most of these people that goes to cons, they really want to talk to artists. One thing I noticed is that though, I'm not that good when it comes to comics, cons, they really appreciate artists because they want to be one as well. So they will be eager to talk to you. Even if you're not talking really well, so long as you talk to them and then you sign your work as they buy it.
Mm-hmm. Right. You're right. So that's awesome though. You gotta tell me. This is a pretty important question, man. Despite it all, there may be some things that happen in your life, but what keeps you motivated to continue to work on what you're working on and things of that nature?
I read this quote once. Says it's about. What do I say? I was thinking of the exact quote, but it's about look for something that you're good at, and then figure out a way on how you can get paid to it. Right? I don't know if it's the Joker or someone else. But I've read it somewhere. And,
yeah.
I think my greatest motivation is that I'm really lazy. So as much as possible, I don't want to do things that I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
If I can find a way to get paid doing what I like doing, that's what I'm gonna do. It's like being a comedian, get to stand up 1 hour in the evening and get paid a lot.
That is true, man. That's words of wisdom, man.
That's what we do. We don't live to work. We work to live. Is that right?
That's right. That is right, man. Okay, so a couple of fun things. So what would you say are some big influences that have impacted your art? Some big influences.
Well, as a comic fan first, for being a comic artist, I really love Ichiro Oda's work.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm a big fan. I believe the only one that can really rival that would be Kingdom. I don't know if you remember.
I don't think I've heard of Kingdom, no.
It's really big in Japan, but it didn't really get that much following internationally.
Okay.
But it's really good. It's the number one in Japan in One Piece. It's not the number one.
Dang.
The art. I love the art. It's not the conventional comic book art. It has lots of these hatches that you would see if you would check my work. I put in lots of hatches.
Dang, that's cool. That is cool. So What would you say is your favorite, comic and why?
Oh, well, One Piece hands down. I really love the storytelling. Secondary the art. I love the art of One Piece. It's something that a lazy person like me would want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the storytelling of One Piece, I mean, Oda is a genius, man. It's like a once a thousand year genius, and how he writes those short term and long term storytelling. I wish I could do something like that.
Is that so? Is that what you're hoping to do? Is like to create something that's like I want to say over like a 1,000 chapters and things of that nature for your series?
Yeah, I would love to. After Requiem, I would want to make an overarching story. That time, people already know I can finish a story at least, and I would follow Oda's example.
Right. Absolutely. That's cool, man.
Good, right?
No, I mean, like, I respect that, and series that can actually, make a story that is, long and also still engaging and interesting, but it's not to the point where it's like detriment of the work, where it's like, okay, you need to wrap this up.
How about you, though? What's your favorite series?
I would say my favorite series, but it's taken forever, is Berserk.
Right.
Berserk is my favorite series, hands down, and it's so long. It's taken so long just to release one chapter. So
the Kingdom is like Berserk when it comes to the art, actually.
Yes. Oh, is it?
The friend that I mentioned earlier, the one who introduced me to all those comic finds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Berserk is his number one comic, and Kingdom is like the second. I really highly recommend that you check it out, especially if you're into like action and historical fiction. It's based on the 7-state kind of like 500 BC, something like that.
I have to check it out. Because I need to focus my attention on something else, because
while waiting for this.
Right, because I've been waiting too long for this. But that's too funny. Okay, so you gotta tell us, man. What can the people expect? That's coming from you in the pipeline, that you're working on. What should we expect coming from you in the future?
Thank you for asking that. Actually, well, I have a series ready once Requiem is completed.
Mm-hmm.
Post-apocalyptic, because I'm really bad at using rulers.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to draw something freehand, and the post-apocalyptic stories would allow me to just keep on drawing without using rulers as much as possible. A few years after the end of the Earth. I'm a big fan of Trigun as well.
Okay.
I like those kind of post-apocalyptic stories, but you don't really know right away in the beginning.
Right.
Unfortunately, if people would listen to this right now, they will know what the concept is.
That's okay, man. Because if the plot and the characters and just like the storyline's good, man, it doesn't matter, man. People will go to it, man. So
that's true.
And when can we expect to see something like that, like timeline wise?
Oh, it would be as early as next year. I'd have Requiem completed by November.
Ooh.
And then I'll have it compiled into a volume, because I have it released per chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I will compile it into a volume, read through some of the initial pages that I made about 2 years ago, add a few pages here and there, and then release that by around April. After that, I'll work full time on the new series.
True. Okay, man, you got a solid plan. So when you go get published and for Viz, man, and Shonen Jump, man, when you gonna get published, man?
I mean, that's the plan, but still a dream. No, I don't know how we'll get there. Maybe once my first Requiem series is completed, I don't know. Maybe send it to Shonen Jump and see if they like it.
You should, man. You should do it, man. I think they're opening up their windows for submissions, man. So you should submit it.
Yeah, I agree. I actually saw that interview. Like they they now accept uh, other countries is what you said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, for
So that's what I'm saying. You should kind of like, at least have, and it looks like you already have something. I mean, you already have like 6 chapters already. So compile it and submit it to them, or you can wait and finish it and then submit it. So it's really up to you. But that's still something that you could do.
I'll let you know if it gets there.
Awesome. So, okay, Chevy, what is something that you wish someone would have told you before you actually got started and where you're at right now?
I see. Well, I always say this. The best time to start drawing comics was 10 years ago. The second best is right now.
Right.
So if someone had told me to start drawing comics when I was in high school, I definitely would have done it right away. Especially if I had known that this is what's gonna happen.
I don't think anyone anticipated the internet, man. So
that's true. Yeah, that's a big part of it.
That's funny. That's a good point, though. I mean, there's no better time than now. It's never too late. You're never too old. You're never too busy with your life. Just do it now, right?
Yeah, I think that should be the takeaway of everyone listening to this right now, especially those who wants to break the comic scene. It doesn't matter what your art style is or what level you think you're at, so long as you write something that you are interested in and you would be proud of and showing to the people at cons. You just do it because everything starts from somewhere, and as long as you start something.
Exactly, man. Because you got to start something, because you never know. You never know until you put it out there, right? So,
Sure. That's the key.
I think that's some awesome words of wisdom. So, Chevy, thanks for being on the show, man. This is awesome. You got to tell the people, where can the people find you and just connect with you at? Where can they connect with you at?
Of course. So my Facebook page is facebook.com/quickdrawchev. Same handle it on Instagram, quickdrawchev. We have Plus Manga, by the way. I'm part of that. You can search it as well on YouTube and Instagram.
Very nice.
If you're Filipino and then you're around in the Philippines, go to cons. I'm always there. I'm the loud, talkative guy with the long hair and beard.
Nice. Man, Mastermind family, that is going to do it for the show, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.